Eric Armstead.
With the 61st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Drake Jackson, linebacker, USC. Welcome to the squad, bro.
Drake Jackson, when you saw him as a freshman, you thought this guy is going to be a top 10, top 15 pick. Play went a little bit up and down during his career there at USC. His weight fluctuated. He started out a little heavy, then he cut weight. Now he's put some of that weight back on. But he can really go off the edge. 34-inch arms, and he can bend. For a big guy coming off the edge, CD, he can really bend.
Yeah, absolutely can. But one of the things I see with him is you mentioned the weight. Up, down, what are you playing? Joel, you got to see him playing out there in the Pac-12. Are you that speed rusher off the edge, which I think he tried to be when he cut the weight? But I think he's better around the 270, 275 range, set the edge type of a defensive end and still get upfield. 4-3 defensive end would be perfect for him.
I just thought there was so much inconsistency about their identity. You know, as a program, as a defense, Clancy Pendergast was their defensive coordinator. Todd Orlando was the defensive coordinator. They're standing him up. He had pretty consistent production during the course of his career, 25 tackles for loss. He is a really good player. If he can put it together and get in the right position, right scheme fit, I think he can have a lot of production.
He went to one of the best defensive line coaches in Chris Kasurk. He'll find a way to get it out of him.
It is time for him to announce the San Francisco 49ers' latest selection.
Yeah. With the 93rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Tyrion Davis-Price, running back, LSU.
I'm going to have to ask my son who this is later tonight. He's going to fill me in. I guarantee he knows him as a streamer. All right, you got a big-time running back from LSU. What do you know? It's another year. They produce running backs on a yearly basis. Downhill runner. What he does to free safeties out in the open field, there's an example of it right there against A&M. He's got tremendous patience. There's a lot of ability here. See the vision and the patience. Plays behind his blockers.
Especially against Florida.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he ate them alive.
Killed them.
Another example of him showing you the vision and the feel inside. You talked about White maybe not being as comfortable between the tackles. Davis-Price, very comfortable.
With the 105th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Danny Gray, wide receiver, SMU.
Good morning. Good morning, football fans. With the 134th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Spencer Burford, tackle, UTSA.
All right, so out of UTSA, I thought Tariq Woolen would be the guy that we'd be referencing out of UTSA just based off of that speed, but instead it's an offensive tackle here in Spencer Burford. Anything that jumps off the screen or the tape when you watched him?
Well, again, a small school guy. You mentioned Tariq Woolen. He's gotten all the hype, but this guy, raw athlete, needs some body development. You know, he's got some length, but just his body thickness and stoutness needs to develop on. So with San Francisco, you go in there, he doesn't have to play right away. You invest in the future. So these are the type of guys you want to hit on in the fourth round. What can he really do well? How can we develop it?
With the 172nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Samuel Womack, defensive back, Toledo. Bang, bang, Niner gang!
All right, so the Giants pick is in. We'll get to the G-Men in just a minute. Money, it's great to have you, man. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Yammer. Feeling pretty good.
I got to tell you.
You're running the marathon, I'm running the sprint.
So the legend of Matt Money Smith, keep hearing about all the stories of previous drafts, which we'll get to in just a minute here. But the Toledo corner, the selection for the Niners, looking for a little help in that secondary.
Yeah, look, I think when you start getting into the 5th, 6th round, you're going to get a lot of these defensive backs that are all graded almost exactly the same.
Thank you for having me. I see all you Niners faithful out there.
with the 187th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Nick Zakelj, guard from Fordham. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Oh, Baldy. Look, man, I got to tell you, it is rare when I get to talk about one of my own. A Fordham Ram in the house going to San Francisco. Baldy, I love it.
Let's see. The list of Fordham Rams right now in the NFL.
Chase
Edmonds. Is it just a running back at this point, Mike?
Well, now, and we got an offensive tackle.
Yeah. and so, look, the one thing about, if you play at Fordham, you've got to dominate the competition. Like I remember when, Tampa Bay drafted a player out of Hobart College, and he went to the Senior Bowl and he dominated. And you look at him move, he's got the traits that you need. And the one thing about Mike Shanahan's system, Kyle Shanahan.
Hello, San Francisco 49ers. It's my honor today to be able to welcome the next 49er to the family. With the 220th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Kalia Davis, defensive tackle from UCF. Welcome to the family. Congratulations. Go Niners. It feels great, baby.
Staying with Khalil Davis here, Mark, anything that when you were examining the tape and looking at what the needs were for San Francisco, why this pick makes sense?
Well, at this point in the draft, this is where your area scouts make their money. This is the guys that they really love. And if you see with Davis, he's missed the last 8 games in 2021. So this is really where the area scouts have been tracking this guy for the last few years, not just off of this pick. So this is where they make their money.
With the 221st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Tariq Castro Fields, defensive back, Penn State.
Baldy, you're familiar with Castro Fields and what he did at Penn State. You tell me, break down the game for me.
Well, one thing about all these kids coming out of Penn State, they all can run. And so you're looking for traits and skills right now as they try to rebuild their secondary, and that's what you're looking for, a guy that can play man coverage that they play out there in Mount Nittany. And you see him against some good receivers in this division, in this conference, going up against Jahan Dotson in practice every day. Like, you can see the break on the ball right there. Like, you just got to work on the jug machine and make sure you bring that one in. But the one thing that they have at Penn State is they've got speed at every position on defense.
Yeah, Baldy, you're right. And I think probably Tariq Castro Fields was kind of a little bit disappointing probably for him going in the 6th round. Probably thought he would go a little bit higher here because he does have size. He does have speed on field and 40 time. Played at Penn State, played at a high level. But you have to use him the right way. You get him up on the receiver, mugging guys, press and run until he learns how to play a little bit better off coverage.
Keeping the irrelevant tradition going, I'm here with my daughter Alex, 3rd generation of irrelevance, and we've saved the best till last. So we're going to put it all on red, 49er red. There you go. That's who my dad played for, right? That's all right. So the 47th Mr. Irrelevant 2022, with the 262nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State. Go Niners!
Well, there you go. We've been talking about Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. They just added another quarterback here in Brock Purdy. Started 47 games at Iowa State, has played a ton of football, won a lot of football games there for Matt Campbell. Extremely accurate, 72% completion percentage. They use him a lot on zone reads where he's just tough and quick and gritty. The issue at times, he can hold the ball a little bit too long at times and take some sacks. Doesn't have an overpowering arm, but competitive. That's how I describe Brock Purdy.
Came out of high school really highly ranked. You remember DJ is one of those 5-star type prospects who struggled in the early going at Iowa State before figuring it out. And boy, he figured it out in a big way. Biggest part of him is that competitive streak. This is about, a program with Matt Campbell as a head coach. Really climbed, played for a conference championship 2 years ago. Really got it done.
So, Mr. Irrelevant is a quarterback. How about that?